Friends, friends, I'm C. Nitin Pathak, Chartered Accountant. I'm a past president of the Sakha Chapter Ahmedabad. We are organizing regular seminar to promote the Sakha Chapter Ahmedabad and to share the knowledge. Today we are going to talk on in-depth analysis of GST core real estate transaction. I started going through the requirement of one of my clients who was a land parcel. It's a huge amount. So, so to plan that, I need to read everything what is possibility in case of real estate transaction. So when I started realizing that there are a lot of misnomer in the mind of people, particularly for a fraternity of practicing and even the businessman, how to how to shut out the real estate transaction. So I started this with this thing in mind. Okay, so you can you can contact me through cnitinpathakblogspot.com. You can contact us at WhatsApp for any query regarding any subject at 9825804094. You can email me the question. We will guide you. Our in-depth analysis of budget, which is available on our blog and our YouTube also. Uh, in the years to come, in the time to come, we are going to take on 25th Cybersecurity by Dr. Kushro, tips of FNO by C. Bhaumik, business process reengineering by Abhishek Jain, cybersecurity by Samir Pandya, library of internet by advocates Avichal CF from Bangalore. And every week we are going to conduct seminar. Our president is Dr. Kushro, Manish Nayak is the vice president, Bhavik Tagore is the secretary, and Viral Jani is the treasurer. Today, what we are going to cover in GST on real estate sector is we have jotted down every section, rules, notification to this in this slide, but we have not discussed all. But we have kept it in our presentation at later stage. There's a notification number so that you can go for that. The tax rate for affordable, non-affordable, commercial, REP, rent are discussed. Society and commercial residential GST provision is also discussed. Plot develop, undeveloped plot, NA, non-NA plot, and the building on there are also discussed. We have also discussed landowners, developers, core revenue sharing, FSI. There are a land development agreement between landowner and a developer. We have discussed each and every transaction. What is works contract is also detailed in express. Then question answer is also question answer is explained so that any anomaly during our presentation you will be able to conclude from there, and still anything left you are most welcome to raise the question, clarification, or understanding on 9825804094. We would try to answer you through email also. With this, we are going to the presentation now. The applicable section, capital goods, composite supply, consideration, continuous supply, exempt supply goods, reverse charges, service, works contracts, scope of supply, time TOS, time of supply of service, value of taxable service, apportionment of credit and block credit, which we have discussed through rules. Status is section 27 to 32 of the value of service good road is also explained. 42, 43, the block credit, capital good credit, what is to be used, what is not to be used, ITC and capital good credit is also explained in rule 42, 43. We have detailed the how to compute the ITC and how to compute the capital goods credit also in our slides, but we may not be able to discuss because our presentation is likely to last at least an hour and we want to curtail as much as possible. These are the notifications which we have discussed. Notification 11 CTR 20th June 27, 20th June 17, notification 3 2019, notification 4 2019, 5 6 7. Frequently asked question on real estate transaction dated 7/5 2019 and 14th April 14th May 2019. Circular 137/7 2020 is also like we have covered in this talk. Works contract is the most important definition, which is the whole section is revolving around whole real estate transactions are revolving around that. So we've explained works contract is a contract which includes following types of transactions done or services provided: building, construction, fabrication, completion, erection, installation, fitting out, improvement, modification, repair, maintenance, renovation, alteration, or commission. What? So there is a contract, and there are following services which is to be done. Qua immovable property, wherein there is a transfer of property and goods, is involved in the execution of contract. So what is important? There is a contract, there is an execution of contract. There are services provided in B and is related to immovable property, wherein some goods are transferred. What do you mean by transfer of goods? There is a suppose CA is signing a paper and giving a paper, or artist is giving a painting to him. So in that case, there is a paper is given to you, but it is a wholesome completion of service. He is signing a balance sheet and signing a paper, but here there is a paper, but most 99% is of a paper and this thing. So it will not be a contract of works. It is a contract of services. So here these are the way the fruits are also converted. So this is the works contract is covered. So I give you a wholesome definition here. This is schedule 2, clause 2. So what we are deriving out of this, though there is a land and building and any lease or tenancy or easement license to occupy of land is a supply of services. So any rent of a property, it will be covered under clause 2 of schedule 2. But residential property is not covered. Residential property used for commercial purpose, industrial purpose is covered. Any lease or letting out of building, including commercial, industrial, residential complex for a business or commerce, either wholly or partly, is a supply of service. So here clause schedule subclause B, clause 5, schedule 2 says that the following the supply of services supply of services, construction of a complex building, civil structure or a part thereof, including a complex of building intended for a sale to a buyer, wholly or partly, except where required by competent authority. एक second, ये आगे चला गया. Okay, now I am here. Construction of a complex building, civil structure or a part thereof, including a complex of building intended for a sale to buy, wholly or partly, except where the entire consideration has been received after issuance of company where required by the competitor or after occupation, whichever is earlier. What they're saying, if there is a construction of a complex and whole of the consideration is received after the completion of the after the completion of a project, complete CC certificate. अगर completion certificate बाद में अगर आपने ये construction service की तो it will not be covered under the supply of service. So what are the completion certificate कौन देता है? Competent authority. Competent authority कौन है? Government authority, which is prescribed by authority which are giving you a completion certificate, or sometimes which we first occupant we started you permission, you get it later on, but people started living there. In that case, first occupant is the date on which
the completion certificate is assumed, and sometimes certain authority does not specify for completion of certificate. In that case, the architecture gives certificate, charter engineer license authority. So in this case, there is a no supply of services. If all consideration is received after the BU permission or completion certificate or first occupancy, whichever is saying that. So what is they saying, that immovable property in which if all the consideration received afterward, it will not be covered under supply of services. Under construction includes addition, alteration, replacement, remodeling of the existing structure. Okay. So this definition is very important for supply of services. If all money is received afterwards and after the whole completion of the project, then it will not be considered supply of services and no GST will be payable on that. Activity or transaction which shall be treated neither as a supply of goods nor as a supply of services. For example, clause 5, sale of land, subject to clause B of paragraph 5 of schedule 3, schedule 2, is a sale of building will not be considered as supply of services and not amenable to GST. This is clarified in notification 11 CTR. I have just going to mention except 16.1, 16.2, all real estate transactions other than will be liable at 18% GST. What is number one? Services by central government, state government, union territory, local authority, government entity by way of a lease of land. Lease of a land is by the state government of this will not be, because when we are paying lease rent, it is liable for residential house नहीं है, commercial property है, industrial property है, so it is liable for GST. That is what they are saying, which we have already discussed earlier. Supply of land or divided, which we already which is equal to that, which is covered under category HSN 9972. Now this is a slide which is a very compact one. Okay. Now अभी पहले हम क्या लेते हैं, what is residential house? Residential house after 1/4/2019, you have an option to opt for 1% and 5% for affordable housing and non-affordable housing. For commercial, there is 12%. If less than 15% is there, it would be a 5%. If other project affordable 8%, other commercial project 12%. These are the rate structure we have given. We have detail in another slide which are going to come is in detail. When a builder transact with us, it asks with the basic price. Basic price. Suppose it is affordable housing, 1%, and other than affordable housing, 5%, commercial 5% or 12%, whatever case may be. PLC, PLC means prime location से इसके आगे हमने और डिस्कस किया है, तो it would be coming under bundle of services, parking, maintenance fund अगर maintainable deposit, it would be non taxable क्योंकि वो पैसा अपने को पैसा मिलता है. मेंटेनेंस 4 years or 5 years or 3 years का एक साथ में लेते हैं, it would be liable for 18% GST. Club membership liable for 18% GST. What they are saying, after if there is a composite package, 1/3 would be assumed to be a part of land, which is also a dicey issue because in case of a Ahmedabad, Bombay, metro city, 1/3 is a very less amount if, when you compare with these things, because sometimes the cost of land is so high that land proportion 1/3 is not a viable proposition. Project launch after 1/4/2019, builder does not have to opt for old rate. Bundle service principle of composite service will be applied also. Now, when you go to a builder give you paid pay advance to a builder or a developer. It would be liable for applicable rate. Applicable rate क्या है? Affordable, non-affordable, commercial. This is the rate would be applicable. Interest fee, maintenance deposit. when you pay, because interest free maintenance security deposit, because it is, they are giving it, sometimes they are collecting directly in the cooperative society name, sometimes the builder takes, and when the society is formed, they hand over it to society, it will be not liable for GST. External infrastructure, they are charging in different name, external infrastructure, external development charges, legal charges, infrastructure charges, floor rent charges, corner flat charges, facing and preferential charges, parking charges. These are all coming as a part of bundle service, and it would be liable as per 1, 5, 12 or whatever rate it is. Clubhouse charges would be charged at 80%. Amenity, when they are giving some extra work, they would, it would be chargeable at 18%. आपके बिल्डिंग में वो कोई एक्स्ट्रा काम करता है, उसका जो भी पैसा लेता है तो उस पे 18% you have to pay for that. Extra parking space would be covered under bundle service. Amenity maintenance charges, cancellation charges would be a part of bundle services. This slide we will take a later on, because we have covered this in the later slide also. But let me read it. No reversal is required. Reversal is required when ongoing project, commercial project in REC. REP means where less than 15% of the total FSI is used for commercial or shop purpose. Then it would be REP, and it would be chargeable at 5%. Other it would be charged at 12%. Reversal is done in case of is required to be done on the completion of the project. Completion certificate is received for unsold area. Reversal will be done at the end of the financial year which the CC is completed, and GSTR 3B. I am going to discuss this again later on, the same for the purpose of clarity. Project wise calculation needs to be made. Credit from beginning from the project or 1/7/2000, whichever is later. In case of COVID, the same is allocated. अगर एक प्रोजेक्ट में 3-4 होता है तो it would be divided in the proportional basis. Transition credit period is not there in calculation. I'm going to talk this again in the another slide also to make it more clear. When you are opting for 1%, 5%, 12% affordable, non-affordable or commercial, then tax shall be paid in cash. That credit for input tax charge on the goods or services used in supplying services not been taken. The tax, that credit of input charge of goods used in supply has not been taken. 80%. Suppose मेरी cost 100 rupees है, बराबर है, 80% of value should be payable on if my, suppose, let me give an example. 100 rupees is my cost. 80 rupees should be payable to the registered dealer. Okay, registered dealer. If it is 70, then on reverse charge mechanism, rest of the amount needs to be paid. So 80% of value of input says other than, अगर ये 100 में TDR, electricity, HSD, motor vehicle, natural gas should be deducted. If falls short of then of threshold limit, then promoter of the value of input करवाई shortfall will be paid in reverse charge mechanism via entry number 30 in notification. RCM should be charged on two rate, 18% for all input, 28% from cement. Promoter shall maintain a project-wise account of inward supply from registered or unregistered dealer. Anything where cement is there, any cement purchased from unregistered dealer, even if it is above 82%, 80%, still reverse charge mechanism pay. Every cement buy you from anyone needs to be added as a 28% of reverse charges. Calculate the tax payment on shortfall at the end of each. What 80% mechanism, it needs to be done every financial year. And calculate tax payment on shortfall at the end of financial year and shall submit the same in the prescribed from electronically on the common portal by the end of the quarter of following the financial year. अपने जो भी जो फाइनेंस 31 मार्च 20 में जो भी 80% करना है, you have to do it, and at the quarter 1 of the next financial year you have to go and submit the detail electronically. Input tax credit not available shall be reported every month by reporting the same as eligible credit under section under GSTR 3B. This is for 1%, 5% करने के लिए, this is needs to be completed. This is the whole thing is written. I'm not going to complete the same, but I'm going मोटा मोटा मैं बता देता हूँ कि प्रोजेक्ट वाइज डिटेल रखनी पड़ेगी. सीमेंट को उसका पैसा अलग भरम, ITC not over to report every month, and this is all I have covered in the earlier slide. Now this is an example. मेरा total purchase 100 crore है. सीमेंट मैंने 20% अनरजिस्टर्ड 20 करोड़ अनरजिस्टर्ड इधर से लिया है. मेरा डेवलपमेंट राइट इज 10 crore. Purchase from registered person is 50. Now the quiz is what is the proposition I have to pay on a reverse charge mechanism. Let me go straight into an answer. 100 crore minus 10 crore development right, because it is not included for the purpose of computation of 80%. 100 minus 10 90. 90 का मेरे को 80% पे मुझे रिवर्स चार्ज मैकेनिज्म में बनना है. 90 का 80 72 आता है. इसमें मुझे 20 का 28% भरना है, और मैंने रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन से 50 ऑलरेडी भर दिया है. तो मुझे 2% पे मेरे को रिवर्स चार्ज मैकेनिज्म पे 18% भरना पड़ेगा. ओके, दिस इज क्लियर. सो मैंने जो रेट जो पहले जो डिसाइड किया था वो मैं फिर से एक बार पढ़वा देता हूँ. इफ माय कॉमर्शियल, दिस इज कॉल्ड HSN 9954, commercial project more than 15%, 12% of ITC. If it is less than 5%, 5%. अगर मेरा प्रोजेक्ट 15% से ज्यादा अगर कॉमर्शियल प्रोजेक्ट है, देन इट वुड बी 12% विथ ITC. मैंने जो 80% जो आगे बोला था वो कॉमर्शियल प्रोजेक्ट में नॉट एप्लीकेबल. इफ इट इज लेस देन 15% ऑफ अ कॉमर्शियल प्रोजेक्ट, इट विल बी इंक्लूडेड. इसमें 5% विदाउट ITC मुझे लेना पड़ेगा. इफ इट इज ए रेसिडेंशियल प्रोजेक्ट, affordable housing 12% with ITC on old scheme, 5% non-affordable की affordable की definition है कुछ एरिया में 60, कुछ में 90, metro, some city more than for less than 45 lakh. this thing affordable की definition आगे मैंने दी हुई है, नहीं दी है तो मैं I have just covered here. अफोर्डेबल नॉन अफोर्डेबल 80% RD मैंने वो बोल दिया. अफोर्डेबल मीन्स वो जो दिस थिंग है जो मैंने 45 60 90 मेट्रो नॉन मेट्रो 45 से एग्रीमेंट वो एरिया कम है. ओके, 45 लाख से डॉक्यूमेंटेशन कम का है. मिक्स प्रोजेक्ट मैंने पहले बता दिया लेस देन 50% है, इसको मिक्स बोलते हैं. RRD पे बोलते हैं कॉमर्शियल. 5% नॉन अफोर्डेबल 5% विदाउट ITC. Affordable residential 1%, commercial 12% if it is more than 15%, non-affordable residential 5 and 1. This is the rate on which the whole gamut is to be played. Now we are going into what are the inputs which you are entitled for. Iron पे 18% लगता है, sanitary पे 28 लगता है, electric पे 18 और 28, sand 5, building brick 5, fly ash bricks 12, ready mix concrete structure RMC जो क्या बोलते हैं कंक्रीट बना के वो एक व्हीकल में आते हैं, which was used, it's called 28% services, 28% cement, 28%. These are the input which we are entitled to, which we are not entitled if we are following 5% and 1%, and if less than 50% for commercial production also. Otherwise, bar 12% in commercial project. Now this is the example which I have given to understand the thing. पहले 1/4/29 के पहले मेरा प्रॉपर्टी 3500 था, 8% फ्लैट था. इसका GST 280 आता था. उस टाइम मेरे को ITC मिलता था, तो my tax liability was coming under 3510. नाउ मेरा 3500 मेरी कॉस्ट है, मेरे को 1% बनना है, अफोर्डेबल है 3,535. but in overall you see there is an increase in cost rather than decrease in cost because of this. ये कैलकुलेशन अदर देन अफोर्डेबल है. 7,000 प्रॉपर्टी है, 12% GST है. 2,000 पहले था, 284, 840, एक 680 मेरी ITC थी, तो my total cost was coming in 7,200. now because of this scheme 7,000 plus 5%, 7,350, 7,350. so this is my real cost. Now I'm going to change the subject for a while, then we will going for a GST on maintenance charges for housing society and commercial property. Flat owners are liable to pay 18% on residential property. If they pay, what is the calculation? अगर आपकी सोसाइटी में मेंटेनेंस उघराते हैं, okay, and if it is less than 7,500 and your total receipt from all the members is exceeding 20 lakhs, still you don't have to pay GST. But if it is more than 7,500 and your receipt exceeding 2020 lakh, both the conditions are satisfied, then only GST for the housing society would be applicable. Now I have given that in the next slide what are the competition in detail. There is an explanation which I am not going to discuss, but मैंने पूरा का पूरा permutation combination 12 तरह का मैंने लिया है. Okay, these are A, B, C, D scenario. Contribution per month, total contribution. इसमें कौन सा 7,500 में कौन सा लेने का, कौन सा ये कर लो, वो भी इसका भी एक कैलकुलेशन है, उसका भी सर्कुलर है. I can share with you. But these are the scenario which I have discussed for the purpose of computing GST for society. Okay. Now I am going on to GST. GST अगर commercial property है तो if it is exceed 20 lakh you have to pay GST. अगर 20 lakh से कम है तो उनका पर वो कुछ नहीं है. So if your society and there is a commercial complex, if your total receipt exceed 20 lakh, then you have to take a GST number and GST needs to be paid. And you are entitled for a set off in your business purpose. In case, even if in the house you are paying 18%, you will not be entitled to set off against your business. Okay. GST on land, on rent. GST is payable on rent if it is a commercial property and your income is exceeding 20 lakh. And even if your residential house and you are using for the purpose of business, if you have rented house and if they're using for the purpose of business, rent earned by you on rent, if that income and your other income exceeds the threshold limit, or you have taken a GST number, though your threshold limit is less, still then you have to pay a GST on commercial property, rented property. अगर house है तो कोई problem नहीं है. This is what I have already covered. I am not going to go word to word, line to line. This I said A to M. There are different proposition which I have not discussed. But 7,000 वाला concept है. 7,000 and 25 lakh दोनों 20 lakh से ऊपर जाता है तो you are liable for GST. Now we are going to talk about joint development agreement. आज तक लोग ऐसा मानते थे कि what is joint development agreement? Let me talk about that. One person has a land, the other person is a developer. Developer has the finance and ability to make the property either residential or commercial. Then there would be an agreement between landowner and a developer. That agreement is to develop and share the profit out of that. The consideration which landowner may be received in cash or maybe in FSI or partly in FSI, partly in cash. And the FSI or TDI or whatever maybe he would be receiving a common area, a residential unit, apartment may be residence or commercial. So he may receive three things. Developer is required to discharge the GST. We have covered everything in detail qua example. We have given 3 examples here. Okay, for rented as well as commercial properties. This will be clear what GST needs to be deducted or paid or at the time of completion of project or the time of possession given to the owner. So developer is required to discharge affordable housing, residential and commercial. The value of property shall be determined independent by for similar purpose. What is the valuation of the house? Value of the FSI or apartment given? The builder has given, developer promoter has given the same property to other. The value of that property will be considered. If there is not, then it will be nearby property will be considered. And one third of the value of land needs to be assumed. In JDS role is of a works contract. This is core residential property. A flat or residential unit value of the rate of similar to unit sold to others nearby one third value 1%. Valuation क्या है? Valuation मैंने बताया valuation, time of supply. These are the value which I have considered in the latest slide. Common area no value, hence no GST. TDR or FSI will be on the value on which they are transferring to others. Commercial property will be 12%. ITC will be available in case of commercial property. Right, as well as paid in this thing. What is the developer right? Example, we have taken it, just I'm giving you an explanation. GST payable on TDR multiplied by carpet area of residential house unbooked divided by total area of a residential, which the following example would make it things very clear. I'm not going into detail here, but it will be clear. The point to pender डीम वैल्यूएशन मैंने बोला कि जैसे हमारे बड़े सिटी में अहमदाबाद बॉम्बे में the total value of a apartment is the value of land is more than one third of that. Once you cancel the you have booked the house and you want to cancel it, in that case credit notice needs to be issued. That credit need to issue within 6 months of the financial year or before the filing of any relative, whichever is earlier. In that case, if you cancel after 1.5 years, there will be a lot of GST issue would be coming up, and GST may be considered a dispute. This is a point to ponder which I have taken. Development right, which I have taken later slide. I'm not taking here. Valuation, value of construction property, the similar property at a similar place on the similar date or near place date. This is what is a valuation. Now I give you an example here. There are 12 residential house. Landowner has been given a five apartment. 7 is going to be kept by developer. Landowner, developer, promoter is going to get value of a flat of each book is 7. At the time of booking, last booking, it was 1.2 crore. जब उन्होंने फर्स्ट बुकिंग किया था 1 करोड़ था, जब उसने कंप्लीशन ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट किया तो 1.2 था. जब ये कंप्लीट करके जब निकल रहा था तो उनका 3 फ्लैट अनबुक्ड है, not unsold by the developer. So now developer has to pay this thing. We are considering it the next slide. Total development right कितना हुआ? 5 landowner को दिया, 1 and 2 is 5 crore. What is tax payable by that person? 5 into 18, 90 lakh. Liability of builder on RCM 9 का 25% कितना हुआ? 23,500. He has to pay 23 lakh of this thing or other proposals are there. Upper cap is 1.2 crore. क्योंकि लास्ट प्राइस क्या है 1.2 करोड़ मल्टीप्लाई बाय 3 प्लेट इज अनसोल्ड मल्टीप्लाई बाय 5 कितना हुआ है 0.18. तो 0.18 और 23 whichever is less. तो builder has to pay 18 lakh as a development right which is going to be dissolved. So he has to pay to the GST. And now when he sells the property, why this mechanism is developed? Once the GST, once the PU permission has come, no GST is leviable because it becomes a movable property supply of services, which we have discussed in the first or second slide. We have gone into detail of that. Because of that, it is not leviable for GST, and GST amount does not remain unpaid. So this formula is applicable, and so 18 lakh is the GST payable. This thing. Now what is, now we are going to another proposal. 1 करोड़ का फ्लैट था, 1 करोड़ का एक फ्लैट था, पांच फ्लैट बिल्डर को वो उसको मिला लैंडलॉर्ड को, तो 5 करोड़ माइनस 1/3 इज द वैल्यू, तो 3.33 करोड़ is the benefit which he got for the construction of a plot. इसका 18% क्या हुआ है? 60%. The 60% is also payable. Now in another slide we have gone in detail to explain the developer, landowner, GST किसको, because there are three things: land developer promoter, builder developer promoter, and developer sell to someone else, landowner developer to someone else. उसका पूरा mechanism हमने we have covered here in the discussion. Valuation of right, value of a development right, value of supply service by way of a transfer of development right or FSI by a person to the promoter against consideration in the form of a residential shall be deemed to be equal to the value of similar apartment charged by the promoter from independent by nearest to the date on which such development right or FSI is transferred. Clear? Value of service by way of a development of right or FSI by a person to the promoter against considered in the form of a residential. The value जो near date है उसको गिनी जाएगी. Value of portion 1B में बोलता हूँ अभी valuation के लिए. Valuation of a portion of residential commercial remaining unbooked on the date of issuance of complete certificate of first occupation as the case shall be deemed to be equal to the value of similar equipment, similar apartment charged by the promoter nearest to the date of issuance of complete certificate as the case may be. So why they are providing the valuation proposition? तो इसलिए कि बिल्डर डेवलपर ऐसा नहीं बोल सकता है कि मैंने इसको 1 करोड़ में दिया और लैंड ओनर को मैंने 90 लाख में दिया. He has to give the same valuation role which is applicable here. Condition for GST. This is I'm again coming back because this on the basis of this the example is going to follow. अभी जो example आएगा वो इस base पे follow करेगा. Condition for effective GST rate 1% and 5% on residential and commercial project. Tax shall be paid in cash, that is by debiting electronic cash ledger. IT is not allowed. ITC for old project where promoter in new scheme B, this is not important. This is what is we are reading for. There are three parties which I said in the case of a joint development agreement, landowner, promoter or developer, landowner sell the equipment, sell the apartment, commercial or residential apartment to someone else, builder or a developer or promoter saving to X. इसका पूरा GST क्या होता है? It depends on phase number 1 before you get a BU permission and after you get a BU permission. BU permission की definition मैंने आगे ले लिए. First position, competent authority or competent authority of government authority if it is not there, architect, interior or this thing or survey or these three से वो अगली slide में ले लिया है. But for the brevity I will be using BUN without BU. Now we are going into this reading where a registered person, a landowner promoter who transfer development right or FSI, including additional FSI to a promoter developer against a consideration wholly or partly in the form of a construction. The developer promoter shall pay tax on supply of construction equipment to the landowner. फिर से मैं 1 बता देता हूँ. Developer promoter shall pay tax. Developer promotion suppose 1 करोड़ का apartment दिया, he is to pay GST on that for the supply of land apartment to landowner. Clear? This is number 1. Developer promoter shall pay tax on supply of construction apartment to landowner. Number 2. And landowner promoter shall be eligible. उसने जो land डेवलपर प्रमोटर ने जो जीएसटी पे किया वो लैंडर को सामने सेट ऑफ लेने के लिए मिलेगा. बट कब मिलेगा? इफ यू सेल द सेम अपार्टमेंट बिफोर BU permission has come. After BU permission, he will not be entitled to set off of the GST paid by promoter developer. There are landowner and developer. Let us remove इन्होंने दो वर्ड बार बार यूज किया है. We will be using developer as well as landowner. Okay. Now we are going to condition number 2. Such landowner shall be eligible for credit of tax charge from him by the developer toward the supply of construction by the developer to him, provided the landowner further supplies applied to his buyer before BU permission, which and pays the tax at the same is not less than the amount tax paying on construction of such apartment by the developer. The same is like उसने जो पे किया वो मिल जाएगा. So valuation और सपोज मैंने उसके में 1 करोड़ है, 1 करोड़ पे अगर 5% देना है और कंस्ट्रक्शन, ये इसका पूरा एग्जांपल बाद में मैं समझा दूंगा, बट इट वुड बी क्लियर, यू आर क्लियर टू अ लार्जर एक्सटेंट. Developer shall pay tax on supply of construction apartment to landowner. Developer shall pay on tax on supplier. To here there would be two supply: FSI selling, right selling, or he is receiving cash. And there would be further bifurcation: is a commercial property or a residential property. Okay. We have given the example. Okay. Such landowner promoter shall be eligible for credit of tax charge from him toward the supply of construction his buyer before issuance of completion first of whichever is earlier and pays tax on the same, which is not less than the amount of tax charged from him on construction of such apartment by a developer. So there are 2% developer, landowner, and third is before permission, after BU permission. Okay. And on this basis, we are coming to an example. A developer has 100 flat, out of which, so developer has made 100 flat, out of which 20 is provided to landowner. And then those flat would be charged at 1% or 5% on GST on the date of BU permission. Is CC jagah we are करेंगे BU permission. In case GST is claimed, once CC is received, landowner जैसे CC मिल जाएगा BU or oblique CC, landowner will be able to claim credit. So better to get charged before CC or before BU. BU permission के बाद में ये मिलता नहीं है. Okay. Now before going into further slide, before coming to an example, I am talking few things on this time of supply. Time of supply, TOS. जब आप बिल्डर को पैसा एडवांस देते हैं and then there is a chart कि 5% at the time of first slab, 10% at the time of second slab, third slab, then there is an issue of notice or advance made to them, whichever is earlier. On the basis of the agreement, demand note is issued. Demand note to be issued as per the payment plan. Then it would be considered the time of supply and the payment has to be made. GST has to be made at the time of issue of notice, demand or receipt, whichever is earlier. ये मैं अभी ले लेता हूँ. बाद में I'll go to the competition mechanism for joint developer, or I can go directly there and then I can come back. Let us not discuss here the GST works contract part. We will take it on later on. This is very detailed explanation is made by us on this thing because we have been facing this issue. That's why we have gone into details. I'm taking an example right now. GST on joint development agreement, TDR, FSI and LTR. Landowner and developer, what they are sharing, area sharing. 12 अपार्टमेंट तेरा, 12 अपार्टमेंट में 5 तेरा 7 मेरा, 20% लैंड ओनर का, 70% डेवलपर का. सो देर आर दिस थिंग, लैंड ओनर, डेवलपर, एरिया एंड रेवेन्यू शेयरिंग. मैं जो भी मेरी रेवेन्यू आती है इसका 20% मेरा. ओके, these are the way. So there is a concept called landowner, developer, BU, CC or before CU. These are the way the calculation is going on. So we are giving one example on area sharing. Developers liability under forward charge. It would be very clear at the time of example. Let's make one by one. Okay. Developer is liable to pay GST on area pertaining to landowner. हमने पहले क्या बोला था? पहले एग्जांपल में 12 यूनिट थे, इसमें से 5 यूनिट वेयर ऑफ लैंड ओनर, 7 इज ऑफ ए डेवलपर. अभी अगले एग्जाम में 100 यूनिट है, 20 लैंड ओनर, 80 डेवलपर. So what they're saying, developer is liable. Developer would pay on reverse charge mechanism, and owner is liable. Owner is entitled to set off. Okay. RCM will be available to him. Developer is liable to pay GST on area pertaining to landowner. मैंने बताया 12 यूनिट, 5 यूनिट of a landowner. So developer will pay 5%. 5 जो यूनिट landowner को जाता है, कमिंग यूनिट में 20, इस पे उसको GST पे करना है ऑन द वैल्यूएशन. अब इसका वैल्यूएशन कैसे करेगा? वैल्यूएशन 5 यूनिट हमने उसमें 1 करोड़ किया था, बट उसका 1.2 है, तो अगर 1.4 पहले दे दिया तो 4 करोड़, एंड एट द टाइम ऑफ BU और CC इट मे बी 1.25. सो वैल्यूएशन कब लगेगा? Valuation of similar apartment charged by the promoter from independent buyer nearest to the date on which such development right or FSI is transferred to the promoter. कौन सा रेट लगेगा? अगर रेसिडेंशियल अपार्टमेंट है, अफोर्डेबल, नॉन अफोर्डेबल, कमर्शियल और कमर्शियल विथ REP, कमर्शियल विथ नॉन REP, 12%, 5%. आर यू गेटिंग इट? रेट कौन सा लगेगा, कब लगेगा? Date of issuance of CC or BU for the project, or the first of whichever is earlier. Clear? Forward charge कैसे लगेगा? Now developer liability under forward charge. Now we are discussing developer liability under RCM. Tax on development right. Valuation. Valuation फिर से वो valuation का गया. तो कोई भी चीज कैसे, रेट क्या है, वैल्यूएशन क्या है, कब लगेगा, एग्जाम कब है. तो दिस आर द वे ऑन RCM. RCM कौन भरेगा? डेवलपर भरेगा. The value shall be deemed to be equal to the value of similar apartment by the promoter from independent buyer nearest to that of which we already covered discussion. कितना लगेगा? 18%. क्योंकि डेवलपमेंट राइट है तो क्या आएगा? 18% लगेगा. यूनिट फॉरवर्ड चार्ज होता है तो जो रेट जो लगता है उस पे लगेगा. टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई, कंप्लीशन, BU और फर्स्ट ऑक्यूपेशन whichever is earlier. Exemption for residential project, value of farmer right to related to unit sold before CC, whichever is earlier. Maximum amount वो first और two में से whichever is less. Maximum for residential project tax on unsold inventory as on the date of CC, whichever is earlier. जो हमने पहले कैलकुलेशन किया था ऊपर वाला, यही कैलकुलेशन हम यहाँ फिर से करने वाले हैं. अब ये एग्जांपल में क्या है, मेरा एक फ्लैट है, इसकी कीमत 1 करोड़ है. ओके, मेरा 100 यूनिट है और रेसिडेंशियल यूनिट है, तो 5% मेरा नॉन अफोर्डेबल है, 5% रेट लगेगा. तो व्हाट इज 100% एंड 20 करोड़. फर्स्ट रो पढ़ रहा हूँ. 100 फ्लैट, 1 करोड़ रेसिडेंशियल फ्लैट, 5% लगेगा. 20 करोड़ डेवलपमेंट राइट वैल्यू, क्योंकि मेरी डेवलपमेंट का वैल्यू कैसे, अगर 20% मेरी कीमत है तो मुझे 20 फ्लैट मिलेगा. 20 into 1, 20 फ्लैट. 60 फ्लैट इसमें बेच दिया है. Option 1, A or B, whichever is lower, we have to pay. Now I am going into the valuation part of it. Value of development right will be, मेरा वैल्यू कितना आएगा? 20 करोड़ है, 20 करोड़ मुझे मिलने वाला है. इसमें से 20% इज नॉट पेड, तो 20% मतलब 4 करोड़ मेरा बाकी रह गया. 4 करोड़ का मेरा 18% पे 72 करोड़ वैल्यू ऑफ डेवलपमेंट राइट एज ऑन द डेट ऑफ विच BU permission or CC is received. Okay, 60 मेरा 20 दिया था, RCM नो क्रेडिट स्पेशल स्कीम इज देयर, हमने 5% बोला है, तो आरसीएम के हिसाब से 72 लाख उनको भरना पड़ेगा, बट वो आरसीएम के हिसाब से उसको क्रेडिट नहीं मिलेगा. नाउ दिस इज वैल्यू ऑफ डेवलपमेंट राइट. इसके इन्वेंटरी सोल्ड कितनी है? 20 बाकी है. 20 इंटू 20 करोड़ हुआ, 5% GST 1 करोड़. ऑप्शन ए माइनस बी whichever is lower he has to pay. कौन पे करेगा? डेवलपर. डेवलपर पे करके उसको बिल दे देगा. ओके. आउटपुट टैक्स टू डेवलपर. आउटपुट टैक्स टू डेवलपर. नील, आउटपुट टैक्स टू डेवलपर. डेवलपर को जब रेसिडेंशियल हाउस है, जब पोजीशन मिल जाएगा तो उसको कोई टैक्स आफ्टर सीसी देयर वुड बी एनी टैक्स डेवलपर हैज टू पे, बिकॉज इसका जो भी 20 करोड़ है उसका उसको कोई टैक्स जीएसटी देने की जरूरत नहीं है. बट 20 करोड़ 20 करोड़ मल्टी 20 करोड़ जो बिल्डर को उसको उसका सेल नहीं किया, उसका 5% 1 करोड़, उसको 21 करोड़ उसको इसके पास से लेना पड़ेगा. Because what he is selling to new is 20 unsold unit multiplied by 5%, 21 crore उसको लेना पड़ेगा. Credit would be credit to land owner मिलेगा, but if it is sold before completion, अगर बाद में करेगा तो नहीं मिलेगा. Output tax to land owner. Sell after CC he will not be able. Else अगर इसके बाद करेगा, else GS credit will not be available for GST paid to developer. अगर इसके पहले बीयू परमिशन से पहले अगर बेच देता है तो उसको आमने सामने क्रेडिट मिलेगा. दिस इज रिगार्डिंग जॉइंट डेवलपमेंट. नाउ इट इज कमिंग टू कॉमर्शियल. कॉमर्शियल में आमने सामने सेट ऑफ हो जाता है, तो देयर इज अ डिफरेंट वे ऑफ कैलकुलेशन. वी आर गोइंग ऑन अ शॉप. मेरा 100 शॉप है, कॉमर्शियल है 12%, 20 मेरा यूनिट है, राइट मेरा 20 फ्लैट मिलेगा, 60 इज सोल्ड बिफोर सीसी इज रिसीव्ड. सो वैल्यू ऑफ डेवलपमेंट राइट, मेरा जो 20 फ्लैट मेरा जो बेचना 20 20 फ्लैट 20 शॉप विच आई हैव गिवन टू लैंड ओनर, तो मेरा कितना 20 करोड़ हुआ. 20 करोड़ का 18% 3.6 करोड़. 3.6 करोड़ आई हैव टू पे टू द GST for the purpose of getting my construction on behalf of for लैंड ओनर. तो उसपे मेरे को 3.6 करोड़ मुझे जीएसटी पे करने का, वो आरसीएम में मुझे ये मिल जाएगा. ओनली ऑप्शन. जो पहले वाला था वो यहाँ नहीं होगा, जो इसमें था ये यहाँ नहीं होगा, यहाँ मेरे को 3.6 मुझे मिल जाएगा. आउटपुट टैक्स टू ए डेवलपर. आफ्टर कंप्लीशन नील टैक्स भरना पड़ेगा. 20 करोड़ मल्टीप्लाई जो मेरा रह गया बेचना, उसको 2.4 करोड़ मुझे मुझे उस पर भरना पड़ेगा जीएसटी. तो क्या पड़ेगा? लैंड ओनर अभी अभी जब ये कंप्लीट हो जाएगा तो लैंड ओनर को उसको देना पड़ेगा, तो ही वुड पे 2.4 करोड़ ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ लोन लैंड ओनर एंड क्रेडिट टू लोन विल बी अवेलेबल. सो क्या करेगा? 20 अनसोल्ड on the date on which BU permission CC is received, he would pay 20 करोड़ का 2.5 करोड़ करके वो बैंक वो भर देगा. आउटपुट टैक्स टू लैंड ओनर सेल आफ्टर सीसी नॉट अवेलेबल. एल्स अगर इसके पहले भेज देता है तो जीएसटी पेड टू डेवलपर वुड बी अवेलेबल एज ए सेट ऑफ. क्लियर? यस नो? केस में भी अलग आएगा. नाउ पहले क्या था? एफएसआई और जीएसटी. अभी रेवेन्यू शेयरिंग है. मैं जो भी पैसा मिलता है उसका 20% मैं बिल्डर को दे देता हूँ. मेरा 100 करोड़ का प्लॉट है, 100 करोड़ में मेरे को 20 करोड़ मिला, मैं बिल्डर को दे देता हूँ. नाउ देयर वुड बी ए डिफरेंट वे ऑफ कैलकुलेशन. नाउ आई एम गोइंग टू डिस्कस राइट नाउ ऑन डेवलपर लायबिलिटी अंडर फॉरवर्ड चार्ज. Developer will sell the flat and share the revenue from such sale with landowner, which is merely a transfer of money and activity related to money, does not constitute a goods and services, and questions of GST does not arise. डेवलपर लाइबिलिटी अंडर फॉरवर्ड चार्ज मैकेनिज्म. मेरे पास 100 फ्लैट है, 100 शॉप है, इसमें 20 मैंने उसको देने के लिए दिया है. मेरा 60 बिक गया है, 20 बिकना बाकी है. ओके. एंड इसका पूरा कैलकुलेशन मैं यहाँ दिखा रहा हूँ. फॉर शॉप नहीं, फॉर कैश वो शॉप और दोनों अलग यहाँ आ जाएगा. डेवलपर विल सेल ए फ्लैट एंड शेयर द रेवेन्यू फ्रॉम सच लैंड ओनर. हियर फॉरवर्ड चार्ज कुछ नहीं लगेगा. नाउ डेवलपर लायबिलिटी अंडर आरसीएम फॉर टैक्स ऑन डेवलपमेंट राइट. वैल्यूएशन कंसिडरेशन पेड टू लोन लैंड ओनर, इसका 18% लगेगा. कब लगेगा? एट द टाइम ऑफ सीसी. ओके, एट द टाइम ऑफ टीओएस, मतलब टीओ मीन्स टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई. जैसे जैसे पैसा मिलेगा लगेगा. एग्जम्पशन फॉर रेसिडेंशियल वैल्यू ऑफ डेवलपमेंट रिलेटिव यूनिट सोल्ड बिफोर सीसी और whichever is earlier. Maximum for residential unit tax on unsold inventory as on the date of CC whichever is earlier. ये इसका कैलकुलेशन शीट में देता हूँ. 100 मेरा फ्लैट है, मेरे पास 100 फ्लैट है, 100 करोड़ हो गया. रेसिडेंशियल है इसलिए 5% लगा. 80-20 है तो एंड 80 फ्लैट सोल्ड बिफोर सीसी, 24 पेंडिंग. सो ऑप्शन टू विच एवर इज लोअर. नाउ अभी एग्जांपल कैसा है? 100 फ्लैट है, 100 फ्लैट है मेरा. 20 I have given it to landowner. 80% flat before BU permission is received. Flat sold in the market. कितना बेचा मैंने? 80 फ्लैट बेचा. कितना बेचा? 80 करोड़. मेरे को कितना पैसा भरना पड़ेगा जीएसटी में? 5%, 4 करोड़. 20% पेड टू लैंड ओनर, नो टैक्स. मैंने जो 20% लैंड ओनर को भरा क्योंकि मैंने कैश दिया तो उसके लिए मुझे कोई जीएसटी भरने की जरूरत नहीं है. नाउ सीसी इज रिसीव्ड, मेरे को कंप्लीशन सर्टिफिकेट मिल गया. मेरा 20 फ्लैट बेचना बाकी है. जीएसटी लायबिलिटी ऑन डेवलपमेंट राइट विल बी अनसोल्ड इन्वेंटरी वैल्यू. मेरा अनसोल्ड इन्वेंटरी कितना है? 20%. 20 फ्लैट है, 20 का 20% बराबर है 4 फ्लैट हुआ. चार का 4 करोड़. 4 करोड़ का 18%, 72 करोड़. 72 लाख आई हैव टू पे फॉर अनसोल्ड चार्जेस, and for that I will not be entitled for credit. 72 I would be paying on behalf of RCM to government by paying this unsold inventory charges. Okay, development right में उसका भर दूंगा, no credit. Now CC is of unsold. मेरी वैल्यू क्या है? मेरा 20 फ्लैट है, 20 लाख, इनका 5 करोड़, 1 करोड़ भरना है. ऑप्शन ए बी, मेरे को 72 लाख बैंक को भरना है. आउटपुट tax after CC to developer is nil. Clear? When in this case, this is the way it is to be computed. Now, this is here. This is a shop. In shop, there is only one option. And because in shop में आपको आमने सामने credit मिलता है, तो this would be the way it would be. Tax on development right will be as under. मेरा 100 शॉप पे 100 करोड़ हुआ, बराबर है. 100 करोड़ में से मेरा 20% मेरे को भरना बाकी है. 20% का 18% मेरे को भर देने का. 3%, 3.6% और आरसीएम. एंड क्रेडिट विल बी अवेलेबल टू डेवलपर एंड लैंड ओनर विल बी गेटिंग अवेलेबल ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ पॉइंट ऑफ सेल्स. क्लियर? Now I'm into eligibility of input tax credit. Residential project 1%, 5% which I've already covered. वो मैंने already slide में cover कर दिया है. Now this 42 and 43. Before going to 42 and 43 are a mechanism by which your ITC is available and ITC credit is available and capital goods. Let me take a case of ITC. These are the step 1 to 12 you need to follow for rule 42. रूल 42 क्या कहता है कि आपने कोई इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट है, बराबर है. नाउ इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट इज यूज फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ exempt item, exempt tax and taxable services. तो इनका प्रपोर्शन में करने के लिए इन्होंने पूरी मैकेनिज्म दी है. वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू डिस्कस बिकॉज इट इज लेंथी. इन द केस ऑफ कैपिटल गुड्स में क्या होता है कि कैपिटल गुड्स we are so 100 rupees is the machinery price, 18 rupees is the GST paid and हमने पेमेंट कर दिया. तो कभी कभी हम बुक्स में 118 ले लेते. तो in this case it will not be available. If you take 100 as a machinery value and you are depreciating it, then on the basis of proportionate of exempt and non-exempt पर्सनल जब इंट्रोड्यूस करते हो तो इसका पूरा मैकेनिज्म है, विच आर्टिकल रूल 43 में लिखा है. आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू डिस्कस, इट्स वेरी लेंदी, बट इसके लिए तुमको एग्जाम में जो परीक्षा देते हैं इस तरह से देखोगे, वैल्यू लिखते जाओ, यू विल बी एबल टू डू इट. It's not a game which this slide I have covered. Okay, explanation of tax issue certificate 43. I'm not going to do this thing now. Before I'm going into question answer which is going to be done, let me consider जो हमने पहले रह गया वो पहले ले लेते हैं. क्या रह गया था अपना? I think जो मैंने ये समझाया, I would put this slide in my blog, so you would be able to get it from there. Some of the example I've taken it from our past president अतुल गुप्ता के presentation से मैंने example लिया है. Some I have taken it my own. So everything is not, I'm not saying that it is all my creation. मेरे को क्या बोलना है? Yeah, this is which I want to discuss. Then we will go to the last slide. Before that, let me discuss effective GST rate on works contract. Works contract की definition मैंने पहले detail में बोली है. You just go to that definition, is a very important part of it. Here there are 12%, 5% and 18%. जो 12% में है, 5% में है, जो नहीं है वो सब 18% में आएगा. Okay, let us discuss 12% में क्या क्या आएगा. Residential house है, or if it is under affordable apartment, then it would be, works contract would be leviable at 12%. The residence complex for the use of employee of central government, state government and subcontractor of these services. अगर आपने ये घर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट और स्टेट सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट अथॉरिटी पंचायत ये सब आ जाएगा अंदर. इन दैट केस इट विल बी सिंगल रेसिडेंशियल यूनिट. अगर मैं मेरा प्लॉट है उसमें बनाता हूँ तो इट वुड बी एट 12%, बट देयर इज अ रेसिडेंशियल कॉम्प्लेक्स इज देयर एंड देयर आई एम मेकिंग इट, देन इट विल नॉट बी 12%, it will go to 18%. Specified civil structure and other, which next 3 slides to follow, I will discuss there. But first, works contract 12%, 5%, rest is 18%. 12% में residential में मैंने affordable housing है, 1% वाली स्कीम में जा रहे हो, 1% स्कीम वाले में आप कंस्ट्रक्शन कर रहे हो तो आपको 12% GST लगेगा. रेसिडेंशियल कॉम्प्लेक्स यूज फॉर द एम्प्लॉय ऑफ स्टेट गवर्नमेंट or subcontractors thereof or single resident unit, it would be 10%. Specified civil structure and others, which I am talking to later on. Then 5% predominantly earthwork provided to state government, central government, local authority, local panchayat, government entity, ये सबको ये लगेगा. और subcontract related to above, it would be 5%. Rest would be 18%. Now I am going to discuss about 12 specified structure in the next slide. Okay. Services to central government, state government undertaking, government enterprise, government agency, subcontract services. If these are the services used for historical monument, archaeological, remain of national importance, archaeological, these are very lengthy. I'm not going to discuss, but you can use it. It would be use it for this. Same is for exemption of services. This is basically जो हम पंचायत में जो लेते हैं उसके लिए है. Okay, so I'm not going into that also. Let us go to then any question you can just mail me at nitinapathak@gmail.com or 9825804094. Okay, but before coming to a conclusion, let me go back to this slide. I've given some explanation. जो मैंने जो पहले बोला उसका some of the question for clarification I'm talking about. ITC on capital calculation in rule 43, which I've already said. Capital goods में rule 43 में before introduction 100, 118, 118, 100 में before you put to use, personal use, exempt item, non-exempt item, टैक्सेबल आइटम, नॉन एग्जाम्प्ट आइटम, इसका कैलकुलेशन का पूरा ये दे. व्हाट इज सिंगल रेसिडेंशियल? इफ मेरा प्लॉट अकेला है उसमें अगर करते तो मैं 12% में जाऊंगा. वेदर गवर्नमेंट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इज टैक्स फ्री which में 12% 5% में मैंने ये ले लिया 245 ये 3G and 243W sewage और वाटर एज ए म्यूनिसिपलिटी, और ये जो लोगों की सुविधा के लिए जो देते हैं उसमें देयर इज ए कंसेशनल रेट ऑफ टैक्स। अगर मेरा 100 करोड़ का मेरा इनपुट क्रेडिट मेरा कॉस्ट है, ओके, एंड आई एम गोइंग इनटू 1%, 5% और 12% स्कीम, और एट द टाइम ऑफ दैट मेरे को 80% शुड बी, आई शुड यूज इट फॉर द पर्पज ऑफ दिस फ्रॉम रजिस्टर्ड डीलर, एंड मेरा 60 है, मैंने 20 करोड़ जो है वो मेरे को आरसीएम में भरना है। इन आरसीएम भरते टाइम at the time of payment, if I find a one person raising a bill of 25 lakh and he has not deducted GST on that, and I'm going to pay on RCM, and it is above 20 more than 20 lakh, his bill is of 25 lakh, should I have to do anything? No, you do have to do nothing. Input tax credit is available to builder on GST in all the inward supply of goods or services, or both if they are used for furtherance of a business. ITC on equipment on purchase of earth moving equipment tower available? Yes, it is available. Earth moving equipment tower. Time of supply of services, receipt of advance. कब TOS का बोलते हैं? वो मैंने उस टाइम भी डिस्कस किया था, रिसिप्ट ऑफ पेमेंट, रिसिप्ट फ्रॉम कस्टमर, और जो पॉइंट ऑफ सेल में जो आप डेबिट नोट, क्रेडिट नोट और अकाउंटिंग में एंट्री करते हो तो इट वुड बी ए टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई. Receipt of advance from customer, date of accounting in the books of entry, deposit, bank account, which is, this will have an impact in cash flow if the payments are not regular, not negotiated, or sometimes payment are not received, but you have to pay GST at 18% of only 1%, 5%, whatever 12% maybe. Can a developer take input tax if the flat or common space is given on lease or rent? No. Some of the builder do not sell the property, they give it on lease. In that case, whatever this name, it is coming under, no, he will not be allowed to do ITC on the same. It is coming on a negative list under section under clause C, subclause 5 of section 17 of CGST. Is GST applicable on retention money? Yes. Is GST applicable on mobilization money? अब बिल्डर अपना बिल्डिंग बनाने के लिए लोगों से पैसा लेता है तो इट विल नॉट बी कंसिडर्ड एज जीएसटी. The agreement between land developer and landowner are liable for GST. We have already taken into that because it will be considered as barter or exchange. Time of supply, date on which the developer receives the right of construction. The valuation would be an open market value, which we have considered detail. But still, I have taken it for the second time is to make a clarity in understanding. But I have not spoken in detail on that. If the developer agreement is in a revenue sharing basis, the developer have to collect GST for customer. Suppose I have collected 100 crore and I have to pay 20 crore to the land developer, land developer and land owner. लैंड ओनर को जैसे जैसे यहाँ से मेरा 100 करोड़ आता है उसका 20% उसको देता हूँ, तो आई हैव टू कलेक्ट जीएसटी ऑन 100 करोड़ which I sell a flat, and out of that 20 crore I will be giving it to him. Taxability on sale of residential house, villas, flat after receipt of occupancy certificate. Is GST applicable? No. Why? Schedule 3 of SGST Act is as it is neither supply of goods nor services. Will it have any implication on GST? Yes. As GST is not applicable, it means the ITC is not available. Commercial houses है तो उनको ये मिलेगा. On sale of land, GST is not applicable as schedule 3(5) of GST, CGST, as it is neither a supply of goods nor services. What will be the tax impact on developer charges for the plot? Yes, taxable at the rate of 18%. The calculation which we have done there in our 3 example which we have done. Valuation of developer, simple thumb rule is there. अगर मैं कंसिडरेशन से ज्यादा बेचता हूँ तो आई वुड बी लायबल फॉर स्टैम्प ड्यूटी से मेरा जो भी है. आई गिव एन एग्जांपल हियर. सो देयर आर लैंड, आई हैव गॉट 100 लैंड पार्सल. ओके, नाउ 100 लैंड पार्सल को मैं इसमें लैंड, उसमें सीवेज, रोड, ये क्या बोलते हैं, पूरा इसको बराबर करता हूँ, एनए करता हूँ. तो द डिफरेंस, जो ये जो मेरा जो डेवलपमेंट है, तो मेरी लैंड वैल्यू प्लस डेवलपमेंट चार्जेस. लैंड वैल्यू पे कोई टैक्स नहीं है, बट एज आई एम सेलिंग ए लैंड, but there is a development charges included. What is the development charges? There is a judgment in the case of Dinesh Anil Kumar Nayak in Milin Torbe in Sima Arora. Advance ruling in the case of Gujarat Guj GAAR appeal 2021. I have covered so many judgment also in the later part of it. In that case, it is said that though land is sold as it is, but it is after development, it would be charged because हम वो क्या बोलते हैं, क्लब हाउस बनाते हैं, उधर काफी फैसिलिटी करते हैं, तभी ये फ्लैट, कभी ये लैंड बिकती है. So that it is not a sale of a developed land is different from sale of land and covered under supply of services. Refer AAR. Okay. If you want a judgment, I'll give you the judgment. But what they are saying, what is the आपका जो stamp valuation है और जो आपको जो प्राइस मिलता है, इसका डिफरेंस को इसको उन्होंने बोलता है जीएसटी लगेगा. Alteration made in the flat over and above the sale agreement, GST applicable on such alteration changes as requested by the customer, it will be at 18%. Valuation of actual sales minus this thing. मैंने ऑलरेडी प्लॉट के बारे में मैंने आपको बता दिया. Is GST applicable on the following services? Free gift of a car, consumer or gift given to buy. On such item, GST is applicable. It will be a mixed supply. Such scheme under the GST this thing. कौन से बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट रखना पड़ेगा? Every project needs to have a different account. Every supplier needs to be trained so that he pays the GST. Otherwise, you will not be entitled for credit in your books of account. Chart of account, ledger have to be analyzed completely. Account have to be maintained separately. QA project, new ledger account, addition to a chart of account needs to be made to accommodate reporting of GST on receipt of errors of customer. Receipt voucher has to be paid and books needs to be kept accordingly. Vendor management. I have also covered most of the subcontract are from unorganized sector. All major subcontract should be visited to take registration under GST, as many of them are contract value is more than 20 lakh. Subcontractor have to be trained on GST. If not, return filing matching will not be made. It is time consuming. If subcontractor do not file return on time, then matching will not happen and ITC will not be available. It needs to be, this will have an impact on GST working capital. Is GST applicable material issued to a subcontractor? If it is drafted in such a manner, then it will be a part of GST. Even machinery usage is also covered as a part of GST also. Stamp duty is levied by the state government outside GST ambit. अगर इन्होंने any repayment made qua agent will not be taxable, but if it's not qua agent, GST needs to be paid. Any question answer? In these following slides, we have covered all the definition of this, which is detailedly explained. Okay, then there are certain judgment we have covered, including 46 ITR 4144 CC SC. ये भी एक जजमेंट है. काफी जजमेंट मैंने कवर किया है, बट यहाँ बिकॉज ऑफ द पॉजिटिव ऑफ टाइम आई हैव नॉट कवर्ड. So any question, just mail me. I am a past president of Visakha chapter. There are many more programs coming. Just come to us, register through this thing, register through website. These are the things we have covered. Anything else which is pending from my side, just call on me. Thank you very much. With this, I conclude. Any question, I can reopen the forum. Anyone wants to एक minute? You can. I have not, but just mail me because this is lengthy presentation. Any question, just call on me or mail me. I'll be answering. My mobile number is 9825804094. With this, I'm concluding the presentation of today. Any else? We would meet next time, next presentation. Thank you very much. Let me conclude this. I'm canceling, or any question we will take later on. Okay. Thank you very much. Be in touch.